IELTS 19, published by Cambridge University Press and Assessment 2024. This recording is copyright. Test 1. This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. You will hear a teaching assistant calling a country park about a school visit. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6.
Two of our classes.
OK. What would you like to know?
Well, I'm new to this area, so perhaps you could tell me something about the park first, please.
Of course. Altogether, the park covers 170 acres. That's 69 hectares. There are 3 main types of habitat: wetland, grassland and woodland. The woods are well established and varied, with an oak plantation and other areas of mixed species.
Right.
The wetland is quite varied too. The original farmland was dug up around 40 years ago to extract gravel. Once this work was completed, the gravel pits filled with water, forming the 2 large lakes. There are also several smaller ones, ponds, and a stream that flows through the park.
OK, so I suppose with these different habitats, there's quite a variety of wildlife.
There certainly is. A lot of different species of birds and insects, and also animals like deer and rabbits.
And I understand you organise educational visits for school parties.
That's right. We can organise a wide range of activities and adapt them to suit all ages.
Can you give me some examples of the activities?
Well, one focus is on science, where we help children to discover and study plants, trees and insects. They also collect and analyse data about the things they see. Another focus is on geography. The park is a great environment to learn and practice reading a map and using a compass to navigate around the park.
Do you do anything connected with history?
Yes, we do. For instance, the children can explore how the use of the land has changed over time. Then there's leisure and tourism.
That focuses on your visitors, I would imagine.
Yes, mostly. The children find out about them, their requirements, the problems they may cause, and how we manage these. And another subject we cover is music. Here the children experiment with natural materials to create sounds and explore rhythm and tempo.
That must be fun.
Most children really enjoy it.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
And of course, all the activities are educational too. Learning outside the classroom encourages children to be creative and to explore and discover for themselves.
I would imagine they get a sense of freedom that might not be a normal part of their lives.
That's right. And very often, the children discover that they can do things they didn't know they could do, and they develop new skills. This gives them greater self-confidence.
It sounds great. So, what about the practical side of it? How much does it cost for a full-day visit? We would expect to bring between 30 and 40 children.
If there are over 30, it costs £4.95 for each child who attends on the day. We invoice you afterwards, so you don't pay for children who can't come because of sickness, for example. There's no charge for leaders and other adults, as many as you want to bring.
That sounds very fair. Well, thanks for all the information. I'll need to discuss it with my colleagues, and I hope to get back to you soon to make a booking.
We'll look forward to hearing from you. Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you.
That is the end of Part 1. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to Part 1.
You will hear an interview with someone who is involved in the music business. For questions 24 to 30, choose the best answer, A, B or C. You now have 1 minute to look at Part 4.
My next guest is James Hyland, the young Irish entrepreneur who has been behind all sorts of music projects. The latest is Bubble TV, a music channel without advertising breaks. James, welcome.
Hi.
You're 23 now, but you launched yourself into the music world while you were still at school, didn't you? You were a very young starter.
Yes, I was 12 when I started my own radio station in my house. I played music I liked. The station was called Happiness. Not a good name, I know, but I was young. I would have been happy if it had been just the neighbours listening, but it soon became clear that I'd attracted a lot of fans, and I was invited to play at events. I ploughed all the money I made from that back into the station. It got very big, and I got noticed.
Weren't people amazed when they found out you were 12?
Yes, but they were far more amazed when they discovered that I was organising concerts by some of the biggest bands on the British music scene when I was just 16. That also attracted a lot of jealous rivalry. At 12, people are pleased for you, people are happy and encourage you, but when you're just a little older and running a successful business, it can be more of a threat.
So, how did your career in music progress as you got older?
When I was 16, I started working with a local radio station. I didn't stay too long, as I didn't like having a boss, but I didn't just complain and carry on going into work. I ditched the job and set up my own studio at my home in Cork, in Southern Ireland, and began producing commercials from there. Along the way, I'd already started promoting well-known bands. I managed to bring in some fantastic acts to play at festivals and concerts in Ireland.
Now, not so long ago, you launched the Bubble TV channel, a 24-hour all-music channel with no advertising breaks aimed at teenagers. James, you seem to be the sort of person who's too busy to be the couch potato type, but the idea came from watching TV, didn't it?
Yes, I was flicking through all the channels and noticed there were so many of them, but only 3 dedicated to music. And there weren't any exclusively British channels. Most were from the US with British commercials. I hate ad breaks. They interrupt whatever you're watching and spoil the mood, so I decided not to have any. However, I should point out that Bubble TV has sponsored segments, so companies are involved. But the sponsorship doesn't get in the way. You have to look for a change in the background logo during programmes to notice it.
Is it just music and nothing else?
Although it's mainly music, we have 3 presenters who do slots called Juice. They interview bands and go to gigs and festivals. And bands can't just promote their new song or whatever. It's got to be fun. They have to spill the juice, the gossip, in just 3-minute slots. It has to be entertaining.
Now, you're constantly coming up with fresh ideas. Do you sleep with a notebook by the bed in case you dream up a best-selling idea in your sleep?
Absolutely. I text myself with my ideas as I have them. Then each day I go through my texts to see what ideas I've sent myself.
So, what's next?
I have several ideas, but I'm not telling you.
OK, fair enough. Well, finally, have you got any tips for would-be entrepreneurs listening now?
Don't give up at the first sign of hardship. I've had my fingers burnt and lost money through some of my schemes in the past, but I've never let it get me down. I've had setbacks, but you can't dwell on them. You just move on.
James, thanks.
You're welcome.
In the exam, you will hear the recording twice. To listen again now, go to the beginning of the track.
That's the end of part 4. That's the end of the test. You will hear someone giving a talk about taking up running as an activity. For questions 24 to 30, choose the best answer, A, B, or C. You now have 1 minute to look at part 4.
As someone who didn't even own a pair of running shoes until I was in my 20s, I think I'm well placed to talk about the virtues of taking up running. After a childhood and youth spent, or misspent, avoiding physical activity and sport at all costs, I am now, a decade and a half on, fitter and healthier than ever, and have completed more than 100 races, including 10 marathons. Through my running, I have gained a wonderful sense of independence, greater confidence, discipline and focus, a sanctuary from daily stresses, and some great friendships. I can't quite remember what it was that first motivated me to go huffing and puffing my way around the block, but whatever it was, I'm thankful for it now, and that's why I'm so keen to persuade you to do the same. You'll find that no other exercise variety gets results as fast as running. Give it a go, and I promise you 3 things. Firstly, every muscle from the waist down will become stronger, tighter, and firmer, while excess body fat will be sent marching. Secondly, you'll feel great about yourself. You'll have more energy, you'll feel alert and focused, and you'll experience a real sense of accomplishment as you gradually become fitter and stronger. Finally, you'll find that running is very easy to fit into your life. Unlike that exercise class, you don't have to be somewhere dead on 6 o'clock. Unlike swimming, you don't have to get to the pool before closing time. Unlike tennis or squash, you don't have to rely on someone else to make it happen. You can go for 15 minutes at lunchtime or grab half an hour in the morning. You can hit the city streets or head for the park. All in all, you can make running fit into your life without too much effort. And when you do, you'll be helping yourself not only to a healthier life, but a longer and happier one too. Is that a but I can hear? But I'm too old, overweight, embarrassed, etc. These are worries that people often reveal when they are faced with the prospect of taking up exercise. Well, I can't categorically say to each and every one of you, no, you're not. But I can tell you that I know people who have become runners in their 40s, 50s and 60s, and only wish they'd done it sooner. I know people who've gone out running in the streets in bad weather and risked funny looks from passers-by in order to give running a go, and now wouldn't give it up for the world. After all, one of the greatest pleasures in life is overcoming fears and obstacles. There is one warning, though. To reap these benefits, you have to approach running with patience and respect. Try to achieve too much too soon, and you'll end up aching, disillusioned, and possibly even injured. The golden rule is to start slow and progress one step at a time. Some people improve quicker than others too, so don't compare your progress to anyone else's. Now we come to technique. If you remember only one thing about running technique when you're out there, remember to relax. It's impossible to run if you aren't relaxed. Unclench your fists, relax your jaw, keep your shoulders loose. Think up before moving forwards. This helps you stay light on your feet and makes you run tall rather than sinking into the hips. Remember to use your arms. Picture them as pistons propelling you forwards. Keep them bent to roughly 90 degrees. It's particularly important to think about your arms if you hit an incline. Increasing the arm effort will help you get up the hill easier. And what about breathing? Always a good idea, I find. Despite all the weird and wonderful theories about breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, or breathing in time with your footfall, I recommend just getting the oxygen in whatever way feels most comfortable to you. Now, I'm going to give you the details of the Get Running programme. This provides an 8-week schedule in which you will be out there in the park.
In the exam, you will hear the recording twice. To listen again now, go to the beginning of the track.
That's the end of part 4. That's the end of the test.